Why, if he's not family, why is it so important that you introduce him to your man? I'm just trying to understand this.
Because to me, my friends are my family. I don't, blood doesn't matter to me. I'm closer to my friends than I am my family. So, and we're not talking about a whole bunch of dudes. We're talking about I could count on my hands how many dudes were, and I didn't sleep with all these dudes, but we can count on my hands how many male friends that I have that are actually true, legit friends.
And you've had sex with all of them.
No, I especially said that I have not had sex with all of them.
Well, did you or didn't? I don't care how long ago it was. Have you had sex with
one person I had sex with?
So let me ask you this.
I have not.
Let me ask you this. So would you then, if your man was not comfortable with you spending time with men that you've had sex with in the past, would you stop spending time with him? Let me ask you that.
I wouldn't get into a relationship with someone because I think that's one of those conversations that you have up front to see where they're at mentally.
But champagne, see, this is the thing that's going to keep you single for a long time. You cannot.
I like to talk to people up front about things like this.
I'm not saying that you just dog them out. I'm just saying you can't keep the same dynamics. Okay,
I agree with that. Yeah,
but no, you're saying that nothing's going to change.
I didn't say nothing was going to change.
So what's going to change then between you being being friends with guys that you've had sex with, and then when you get in a relationship, how does it change?
All right, so I'll use the example of my one friend who's married. Okay. So before we talk about any and everything, inappropriate, appropriate, it didn't matter because he wasn't married. We'd hang out, my place, your place, wherever, anywhere, because you're not married. You don't have to worry about that. Once he got married, it became, okay, I'm not going to text him after 9 o'clock because that's rude. He has a wife. That's respect. Make sure, the conversations aren't cheeky because his wife could check his phone. That's kind of rude. When he's in town and, I see her because I don't want to feel I don't want to feel any type of way. I don't want to feel dirty if he brings his wife in. And then you got to look at the kind of what I do with my male friends. We're not hanging out every week. We're not hanging out every night. And I do get you. I have a friend of mine and she was dating a guy and this guy had a female best friend. It was an ex. It didn't work out, but they were still friends. I don't have a problem with that. The issue that came in was she and him were going to date, but what turned her off was he said, me and my friend are still going to get together every Sunday and watch movies and have slumber parties. And I don't care whoever comes into my life, that's not going to change. That's unacceptable to me. Like, even if you have high discipline, it doesn't look good because I can trust my man, but I don't know her. So I get that point. But if you're in town and you're like, hey, let's have a little lunch, I don't see what the problem is.
Okay. Now listen. I'm gonna make a couple statements. I want to talk to cyberspace, everybody that's watching.
Okay.
Do not keep people around that you've had sex with. If you're in a new relationship, start it off fresh with no baggage so you have a fair shot. If you keep that going on, it's going to interfere with your relationship. Now, I'm going to give you another example. Okay. I met some girl like a long time ago when I had my shop, and she was in a motorcycle gang, right? So I was about to go to New York because I was going to New York because I wanted to go check out get some of that bootleg merchandise that they had back in the day because it used to be popping in Chinatown. Anyway, and she was cool. I just kind of met her or whatever. I was like, yeah, won't you roll with me? I'm gonna go to New York and we're gonna I'm gonna go down to get some stuff in Chinatown. So anyway, so she was like, okay, yeah, come and pick me up. I go come and pick her up. When she walks out the house, she walk out with one of these motorcycle dudes with a vest on, right? Okay. So she give him a hug before she get in the car. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, what's up, man? How you doing? All right. So she gets in the car and then, and as we drive, I was like, is that your dude or something? Who's that dude? And then she's like, oh, well, that's my boy. I ain't even gonna say his name because people might know him in Columbus. But yeah, he's not going anywhere. And this and that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Saying so in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay. So what I did, we went out of town and had sex with her. And when I came back, I dropped her off and let her go back to that dude. You know what I'm saying? No, listen, if we're going to get started off, we're going to do it the right way. Like I told you, before I got married, I cleaned out everything. I didn't want to have nobody calling me with old feelings. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to have nothing that was going to be a hindrance to me going. I wanted a clean, fresh start. Mm-hmm. And that's what I had to do. So I would not be tempted to call somebody else, you know, when I might be bored or something like that, come on through real quick or whatever. You cannot do that and be in a relationship.
Have low discipline.
No, it ain't. No, wait, back up. It's nothing to do with discipline. It's just you cannot have that baggage around you when you're trying to start something fresh. If I'm talking to you and then you hanging out with other people and stuff like that, I'm like, you know, well, I don't know about her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, I'm just trying to tell you, like, that's not a good look.
But what
that's all I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, but I've had married couples who actually, like, it works. And it's all about being open and honest what's going on.
Of course.
With who you're dealing with, right? Right. So,
right.
So why is it that, okay, she has it, and like in your mind, are you thinking like they're hanging out all the time, or like what is your thought?
In my mind, it like, ain't got nothing to do with in my mind at all. Okay. It's just, it's not a good look. Like, how can I fully invest with somebody who still hangs around with somebody that she used to sleep with? Come on, now I ain't gonna invest in that. I would never even leave myself vulnerable to that, because like I said, if we get into an argument, now you already got another person. Now remember, these dudes or females can be very influential because they've known you longer than the person that you just met. So why would I have somebody around me that might influence me one way or the other? I shouldn't have to validate with more than just the person that I'm with. Why I got to validate through your dudes? Like, you know, dude, like, yeah, you should go ahead and mess with him. Like, man, please, listen. Either we kicking it, or are you kicking it with your boys? Like, we make a choice. You know what I'm saying? Put your man first.